Hello, good morning. For some of us, I know it's earlier than others. I'm Leanne Matullo at Gamma Epsilon University of Pittsburgh, and I am so tremendously honored to be here and to be sharing this experience with you and hopefully really setting you up for a beautiful, beautiful weekend together. So I'll tell you a little bit more about practice in a moment, but I want to make sure you have a couple of props handy. These are just things that you can have around your house. So make sure that you grab a blanket. I have wool blankets stacked up over here, but really any blanket will do. It's truly for Shavasana. So really making sure that you're comfortable on the back towards the end of practice. And then maybe grab a bolster. If you have a yoga bolster, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then go ahead and grab a pillow. It can be one off your bed, or it can be a throw pillow off of your sofa. And again, that will be for Shavasana for the most part, okay? So as we get started, I want you to know that I'm a yoga therapist as well as an Ayurveda practitioner or practitioner of Ayurveda. And I won't say too much about it, but it heavily influences the practice that we're going to be doing today. Ayurveda, if you've never heard the word before, it's a Sanskrit word, but it essentially means the science of life. And it really draws on the wisdom of nature's elements, how they're reflected in nature and how they show up in our bodies. And so for today's practice, we're really going to be getting into the elements of earth and of water. We're really going to be cultivating them with the movements that we do. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get settled. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to actually start on the back. So if anybody's on maybe the West Coast that's joining us, you can just lay right back down as if you're going back to sleep. Not really. So you're going to come onto the back, and we're going to do something called constructive rest. So as you come down, soles of the feet are going to be on the earth. You'll extend the feet pretty wide, bring the toes in and the heels out. And what will happen is the knees will start to knock together, okay? And as you get there, maybe the hands rest on the body, that's fine. Or maybe the hands fall down by the sides with the palms to face up. And make any adjustments you need to. You might need to pick up the hips. You might need to walk the shoulder blades down the back for a moment. You can wiggle. And start to take some deeper breaths. Maybe close the eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And as you check in with your breath, I'll also preface our time together with, we're all at home. So you might hear my dog. You might hear my toddler. You might have other sounds in your environment too. Family members, pets, roommates. And so I invite you to not let those things take away from the experience, but rather be a part of this experience, okay? Continuing to connect with your breath, take some full breaths in through the nose, maybe an inhale and then maybe an open mouth exhale to sigh it out. Staying on the back, really starting to let the body become heavy, letting it surrender, and taking a few more breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So as you're here with the eyes maybe closed, maybe they're just taking a soft gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling, just going to guide you really into a brief meditation of the elements so you understand where we're going with practice. So continuing to take these deep breaths, I want to draw your awareness to the first element, which is ether. Ether meaning space. And so allow whatever image or feeling or sensation comes to mind as you consider space. For me, I always think about planets and stars. And the next element would be air. And again, inviting in any sensation, any experience or visualization for air. I live near the ocean, so oftentimes I think about the breeze on my skin. And dropping down a little bit more into perhaps Earth's atmosphere, we have fire. And again, maybe this is a candle that you have lit in your space. I certainly do, or you have the image of a bonfire. But fire is also one of the elements found in nature. Continuing to breathe, letting the body be effortless. We arrive at water. What visualization or sensation comes to mind with water? Water is fluid, flowing. It often finds the path of least resistance. It's playful. And then finally drawing your awareness to earth, the most dense element. What shows up in your mind as you consider the element of earth? In Ayurveda, we see earth as supportive, generous, loyal, intelligent. And this shows up in our plants, right? Trees and flowers, sand, dirt. And we're going to be cultivating these earth and water elements because a lot of us are living our lives above the neck right now. That would be that air, space quality. We're on screens a lot. We're not necessarily in our bodies as often as we could be. So I invite you today to really drop into the body and really starting to allow this vessel to prepare for taking in some really beautiful information this weekend. So if the hands aren't already there, go ahead and find the hands on the belly, sliding them underneath of the ribs, kind of towards the side of the belly. And start to take 3 deep breaths into the hands. So inhaling to fill the belly, really filling the space underneath of the hands. And exhaling to release it. Taking one more, inhaling, filling the space underneath of the hands. Exhaling to release it. Really beautiful. So now we're going to start to hug the knees into the heart, invite some movement, and start to draw some circles on the ceiling with the knees. So this is Apanasana. This is a really beautiful shape to take, really at any time where you've been staring at a screen for a long time. Just start to make contact with the floor. Begin to circle in the opposite direction. Stretch out the low back, massage the sacrum. And eventually finding neutral, we'll hug the right knee in towards the chest. The left foot can step down onto the mat, or if it's okay, you can extend that left leg long. Interlacing the fingers around that right shin, you're going to draw the shoulder, or excuse me, the knee towards the shoulder. Maybe you flex through the feet. This is called wind reliever. Take a breath in, breath out. Usually folks giggle when I say that in class. Another breath in, and as you exhale, we'll take this into a supine twist. That knee is going to come across the body. You'll come up onto the left hip, and the right arm, depending on how much space you have, the right arm might goal post. It might come to a 90-degree angle, or you may extend it long. Okay, we can look up, we can look over towards the right shoulder. It's all up to you. Just warming the spine, it's going to be very important. And remember, water is playful, so we're going to play. Now we're going to look over to the left side. I'm going to have you roll all the way up and over onto your left hip, however you want to get there. I'm going to adjust for a moment. Your left arm is going to reach out so the bicep is by the ear, okay? You're all the way over on your left hip. Right hand's propping you up, head can be heavy. Now you can stay here, or we're going to invite like a tree pose, a variation of Vrikshasana, a tree pose on the side. So you can draw your foot to the calf, or you can take that foot all the way up towards the inner thigh. And it's okay if you wobble. You're like, oh, okay. Core isn't just about the 6-pack abs. It's really the whole stable region around the torso. You can stay here, or if you want to play a little bit more, flex that bottom foot as if you're standing on the floor. Reach the top arm up and over, like you're standing, like your arms are your branches. Again, it's okay if you're wobbly. Take another breath, maybe smile. And as you exhale, start to lower everything down. Maybe kickstand the right foot behind you and begin to roll however you want back onto the back. Okay, breath in, breath out. And extend, or drawing the left knee towards the chest, extending either the right foot to the floor or extending the heel all the way out in front. Take a breath or two in your wind reliever here. So air collects in the body. It often feels like in the mind like spaciness or anxiety. In the belly, it can feel like bloating, gassiness. And take an inhale. And then on your exhale, we'll twist across the body. So we ground to start to relieve some of that. Again, left arm can come into a goalpost shape or it can extend all the way out on the mat, totally up to you. Good. And then gently starting to look over towards the right, can stay here. If you want to roll up and over onto that right side, go ahead. I'm going to roll away from you. Right arm's going to reach out behind you, bicep by the ear. Left hand is propping yourself up, and you can stay here on the side or draw left foot to the calf or all the way up to the inner thigh, just not the knee. And then just play here. Flex the bottom foot. Let yourself wobble a little bit, breathe. And then if it's okay, extend that left arm, maybe up to the sky. And then gently bringing the left foot back behind you, let it kickstand and then roll back onto your backs. Yeah, hugging both knees back in towards the heart. Good, good. As you inhale, take the heels up to the sky and then start to reach the arms up and overhead. So flexing the toes, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the knees and then bring the arms back down by the sides. They're just going to hover. And as you do the shape, the knees are pulling up towards the chest without the use of the hands. All right. So we'll inhale. We'll take that again. Heels lift up, arms reach back by the ears. And then as you exhale, knees bend, hands hover. You can stay with this if you want to make it just a teensy bit more challenging. On your exhale, you can start to lift up the head, neck, and shoulders, reaching the fingers forward. And on the inhale, give the neck a break, set the head back down. Just a few more like this. I just want you to find a rhythm in your breath and in the body. Last one. And then gently releasing everything. It's going to be your choice. You can roll over to one side and press your way up. We're going to be moving to child's pose. Or if you want to rock and roll your way up, you can do that too. Take a moment before coming onto hands and knees and then moving into your child's pose. That was a lot on the back. So I always say take a moment to let the body know where it's going. It was laying down supine, and now we're going to be more prone. Okay, big toes to touch, knees wide. Start to bring the forehead towards the earth. And as you're here in your balasana, I really want you to think about breathing into the ribs that are along the back of your body. Yoga therapy really sees yoga practices as being very nourishing and really encompassing all these different limbs of what it means to practice yoga. So if there's nothing that we're aware of today, or if there's one thing we're aware of today, I would really like it to be this continuous rhythmic breath. All right, feeling the hands plug down into the earth. And then as you take your next inhale, no rush, start to float up onto hands and knees. So remember, we're simulating and we're going to be working these elements of water and earth. So I want you to imagine as you spread your fingers that your hands are literally on the ground. You know, I think about this in spring and summer, of course, like gardening, but that you really feel the hands on the ground. And you're going to start to rock your weight from side to side, lifting one hand and then the other, almost as if you're kind of pawing the ground. And this is it's a mindful sensation. It's a tactile sensation. We really want to work into the hands. We're just going to be here for a few more moments. And then we're going to move into a crawl. So allow this to be, again, playful, fun. Crawl all the time with a 3.5-year-old. So you're going to start to come forwards, walking the hands forward. They might come off of your mat and then start to crawl back. Cross crawling for the brain is, and for really the body, the central nervous system, is a really good soothing mechanism for anxiety. Pretty cool, right? Babies naturally do this. Keep crawling forwards and back, keep pressing the floor away. If you want a challenge, come up on your finger pads, really using the strength of the hands so the wrists aren't touching down. I really wish I could see everybody crawling right now, but that's all right. We're gonna come back to center. Good. Take a few rounds of cat-cow here. Really press into the hands, tuck the toes, inhale, lift the heart. I hope you're smiling a little bit. And then exhale, rounding into the back body, pressing into the tops of the feet, chin towards the chest. 2 more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhaling to round. Good. Eventually finding neutral with the spine. We're going to sit back on the heels and move through something called a kriya. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So I want you to imagine that you're kind of scooping the ground with your hands. You can see my palms are kind of touching. You're going to scoop the ground with your hands and then reach the arms up to the sky. You're going to lift up onto the shins. Yes. And then as you exhale, press the hands down towards the floor. And then try it again, almost as if you're scooping up sand beneath your fingers. You're going to lift this up. Inhaling, and then as you exhale, press the hands down towards the floor. Continuing with that breath, inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And what I want you to find is the rhythm that your body wants to take, the shapes that your body wants to take. This is a beautiful releasing mechanism. So as the hands press down, you might think about, what is it that I need to release, to empty, to let go of right now? What can I give back to earth that I don't need to carry right now? Try it a few more times. Maybe close the eyes, really be in your body, releasing. What do I not need to carry right now? What feels heavy? 2 more. Eventually finding your way back into table, pause. Bring the knees together, the toes together, and then you're gonna tuck the toes completely and sit back on the heels. And if you're like, that is way too much on my feet to hang out there, you wanna make sure all 10 toes are tucked. You can just sit back on the heels without the toes tucked. So that kriyas are all about releasing. All right, right hand's gonna come down, left arm's gonna reach up and over, big side body stretch. Inhale here. As you exhale, curl forward, round forwards, left hand to the outside of the leg, right arm reaches up and over. We're gonna do that again. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, over, rounding forward. Left hand down, right arm reaches over. And up. 2 more in the opposite direction. Hand comes down. And listen, I know this is a lot on the feet. I totally get that. Working the feet is one of the best ways to get out of our heads. Good. Nice, lifting all the way back up. Go ahead and bring the hands out in front, untuck the toes. And if it's okay in your household or in your home, tap out into the tops of your feet. Tap the tops of your feet. Let it be loud. And then go ahead and tuck the toes and lift into your downward facing dog. I hope you feel this beautiful awareness in your feet. And then whatever you need in down dog, take your time, sway the hips, bend one knee and then the other. Shake the head yes and no. If at any point in down dog in this series you want to drop and rest the arms, come into child's pose or sit back on the heels, please know that you can totally do that. That's perfectly fine. We're going to crawl our dog. Just like we crawled on hands and knees, we're just going to take this maybe one time forward and back. So we'll look forward, start to walk one hand forward, then the left hand, take it slow, and then crawl all the way back. Again, taking it slow. This is really a grounding tool. And eventually coming to center. Take a breath in, breath out, maybe bend the knees a bit. Press down into the hands, into the base of each knuckle, and let the right leg come up to the sky. Any amount, doesn't have to be super high, we're still warming up. And then slowly bring that foot back down. Try the left leg, bring it up to the sky. Again, any amount, doesn't have to be very high. And gently go ahead and put it down. Good. Look forward in between the hands and then take a walk. Top of the mat, forward fold, giving the arms a break. Inhale will be a halfway lift, our Ardha Uttanasana, and then as you exhale, fold Uttanasana. If you want to grab opposite elbows and sway from side to side, you can totally do that. And bending the knees. Inhale, start to reverse your swan dive, lift all the way up, reach the arms up to the sky, and then exhale, draw the hands down towards the heart. Pausing here, making any adjustments that you need to. Just bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. See if you can breathe into the hands while pressing down into the feet and lifting the crown of the head to the sky. Notice if you're locking your knees here. Can you relax them? Can you drop the shoulders? Can you loosen the jaw? And then when you're ready, start to blink the eyes open. Okay, this is where I wish I had music and we all could listen to the same music, but for copyright reasons, I cannot do that. So we're actually going to be getting into the feet, doing a little bit more movement, this time around our mats. So I want you, we're gonna start to walk around the perimeter of your mat. I want you to walk heel, ball, toe, take it really slowly, really slowly. So I didn't say this in the beginning. I was a modern dancer for a really long time, so it influences what I teach. We're gonna go really slow, and I want you to bend your knees so you can get into the floor. Okay, walking around your mat. And then start to move in the opposite direction, pivot on the feet, start to go in the opposite direction, bend into your knees. Notice if your upper body is really stiff, right? If you're taking this super seriously. And I want you just to start to sway the arms. Sway the arms as you move. Go ahead and pivot in the opposite direction, breathe. Now see if you can come up onto the balls of the feet. So you're lifting up. Maybe the arms lift up as you go. Pivot, turn the opposite direction. Bend the knees, come down into the feet. Heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe, heel, ball, toe. Now this is an invitation. I can't see you. Nobody else on this call can see you. So see if you can really move the way your body wants to move. Go in the opposite direction. Keep breathing. Keep maybe lifting the arms. Come onto the balls of the feet here. Totally disregard what I'm saying and just do what you want to do. Move in the opposite direction. Deep breath. Start to feel the heart rate lift. Good. Eventually turning around, coming all the way back to the top of your mat, binding the feet underneath of the hips, palms down by the sides, heart open and forward. Breathe in, breathe out through the mouth. Try it again. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale, float the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, bend the knees. We're going to come towards Utkatasana chair pose. Soften through the shoulders. We'll take a breath in here. All the weight's going to go in your left foot. As you exhale, draw the right knee up any amount. It can just lift a little bit, or you can start to bring it up towards the chest. And then inhale, set the foot down. Exhale, all the weight toward the right foot. left knee lifts up. You can work higher. You can be marching in place if that's a little too much to be in chair pose. You can also work lower. And again, lots of awareness of the feet. Yes, the legs. Moving with the breath. One more on either side. Inhale, reach the arms up, straightening out through the leg. And as you exhale, draw the hands through heart center, forward fold. Whew. Hopefully we're getting warmer. We're waking up. Body's awake, spine is awake. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Open mouth, exhale, release it. Come on down, try it again. Inhale, halfway lift. Open mouth, exhale. One more, inhale, halfway. Lovely, step your right leg back. Just gonna do a variation of the sun salutation. Right leg is gonna step back to low lunge, left knee over left ankle. Gently drop the back knee down, untuck the toes, and as you inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Any amount, just a breath here. And when you are ready, gently bring the hands back down to frame the foot. Press into the hand, step back. Left leg is gonna step back into downward facing dog. Now your choice, as you inhale, you might have a chaturanga up dog. You know, we're all different here. Or you might wanna join me, maybe come into plank, drop the knees down towards the earth. Inhaling, and as you exhale, elbows are gonna hug in as you lower the chest, the chin, the belly. Inhaling to find your cobra, just a baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Enough that you can lift your hands off the ground. Heart reaches forward and the forehead will come down. Pushing all the way back into your child's pose, Balasana. Begin to tuck the toes, lift the hips, find your downward facing dog. And your choice, you might lift the right leg up to the sky and then step it forward, or you might just step right foot forward as much as you can. Grab that ankle if you need to guide it forwards. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes, really feel the opening in your left quad, and then begin to rise up. Inhale. Belly draws in, press into your right big toe. And as you take your exhale, let it come, hands come down. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and then gently step that left foot all the way forward. I feel like that's the hardest part sometimes, into your forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale, reverse, lift all the way up. And exhaling, hands towards the heart. Lovely, we're gonna do the other side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands draw right through heart center, forward fold, come on down. Inhaling a halfway lift, heart reaches forward, shoulders draw back. As you exhale, begin to fold and step that left leg all the way back behind you. Right knee over the right ankle, drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Anjaneyasana, arms can reach up. Inhale, exhale to stay. Another breath in. Exhale, the hands come down. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step back, down dog. Find your down dog. Find that inversion. And again, if in your practice you have chaturanga up dog, you can certainly come into it or join me. Come into your high plank to start. Inhaling, exhaling the knees to come down, untuck the toes and lower, nice and slowly to the belly. Inhaling your cobra. Drop the chin. Notice if you're like reaching the chin forward, drop it so the back of the neck is long, and then begin to bring the forehead down to push back into your child's pose. And tuck the toes, lift up into down dog. Your choice, stepping forward or lifting the left leg to the sky before you step forward. Very much that a practice is choose your own adventure. Drop the back knee, inhale, sweep the arms up. Anjaneyasana. And as you exhale, hands come down. Tuck the toes, lift the knee, big step forward, all the way up top of the mat, forward fold. Whew. Bend the knees, inhale, reverse your swan dive, lift all the way up. And then exhaling to find the hands towards the heart. And let this integrate. So you can keep the hands at the heart. You want to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly again. Lengthen the tailbone down. Sometimes we really fly through life. This is that air quality, meeting to meeting, thing to thing, notification to notification, right? We actually really want to slow it down at moments. Learn to be in our bodies, listen to their cues. All right, starting to blink the eyes open. We're gonna step the right leg back, mainly so that I can see you. You can really step any leg back. And you're gonna come to a warrior 2 foot pattern. Okay, so left toes are gonna face forward. Back foot can be on like a 45-degree angle, the toes facing in, or it can be parallel to the back edge of the mat. And the arms are gonna reach wide. Now notice, I'm not like, you don't have to drop really far into this, because we're actually we're gonna dance this, okay? So as you inhale, both toes are gonna face the right side of your space. Arms reach up to the sky, and as you exhale, warrior 2 to the back of your mat. You'll be gazing out over your right fingertips this time. Inhaling to lift up. I want you to find your rhythm. So what feels good to me? Do I need to go faster? Do I need to go slower? Do my arms want to do something a little bit different than what Leanne's doing? Do I want to keep my hands at my hips maybe? I mean, the thing about yoga is it's really meant to be adaptable to what your body needs. Good. I say good as if I really can see you, but I'm really imagining it. So a few more rounds here. Maybe you close the eyes. Next time you find yourself moving through center, this is star pose. Go ahead and pause there. Hands can come to the heart, maybe towards the hips. We're going to turn the heels in and the toes out and start to sink down into goddess. Okay? Into our goddess pose. I feel like I always, when I'm thinking about like, what do I offer kappas? We need to have a goddess pose in here. So with this pose, the knees are over top of the ankles more or less. I'm going to start to find a sway. I totally invite you to do the same thing. And again, if this is too much on the thighs, just lift up a bit. You don't have to be as low, okay? Back of the head is right over top of the sacrum. So sacrum is that bone below, it's a little bit lower than the low back, like a triangle shaped bone, faces down. Good. Now we're gonna come into center, into neutral, and invite the arms, just like we did earlier in screaming toe. So we're gonna take a side body stretch up and over. Either side will work. Round forward as you exhale. As you inhale, come take a side body stretch in the opposite direction, and then maybe lift up, straighten the legs, give them a break before bending them again, side body stretch, okay? One more in this direction. Remember, water, fluid, playful, creative, right? Go ahead and go in the opposite direction, bend the knees. And if you're like, mine doesn't look the same, doesn't have to. This is really about opening up fascia, the connective tissue that runs throughout the body, and also allowing the breath to move. Okay, finding neutral. Go ahead and straighten out the legs. Toes are gonna face forward. Maybe interlace the hands behind the back. Take an inhale, look up. And as you exhale, start to fold forward. Any amount. Maybe the knuckles lift off the low back. If you're like, that's also not working, just release the hands down to the ground. Perfectly fine. About 5 rounds of breath. When you're ready to release the hands to the earth, you can just hang out in Prasarita, your wide-legged forward fold. And releasing the hands down to the floor if they're not already. You can bend the knees a little bit, bring the hands to the hips, and as you inhale, lift up halfway first, ground into your feet, and then lift all the way up. Yes. Start to heel toe your feet together. And we're gonna face the side of the mat. So we're gonna come into, what would we be doing with Earth if we're not gonna be practicing tree pose, right? So we're gonna come into tree, into Vrikshasana. You can always use a wall. If you need something for balance, you can always use like a couch or something like that to hold onto the back over a chair. All the way, it's gonna go on the left foot. Hands can be at the heart or holding onto your prop. Right foot can kickstand. So if you're like, balance is not my thing. Right toes can stay down, it can kickstand. Look straight ahead in front of you, maybe even slightly up. And maybe bring the foot to the calf. Or bring the foot all the way up to the inner thigh. All are lovely options. And see what the hands want to do. Do they want to stay at the heart? Does one want to reach up? Does the other hand want to reach up? And if you feel really rooted in that foot is really rooted to the earth, maybe play with swaying a little bit. Sway the upper body, let yourself go a bit off balance. It's so important to do this in life. One more full breath. And then gently hands towards the heart. Start to release the foot, come all the way down. And shake it out, shake out the leg. And we're gonna do the other side. All right. Right sole of the foot presses down. Same idea, hands to the heart. You can kickstand the left toes so they come to the earth. You can draw the foot to the calf, or you can pull it all the way up into the inner thigh. Hands are gonna come towards the heart. Decide where the arms want to go. They can reach out wide. They can reach up to the sky. They can interlace back behind you. You decide. And if you're feeling really rooted, really balanced here, again, I'm going to invite you to add an opportunity to sway. One more breath. As you exhale, everything is going to return towards the earth. So all that fluidity, and then we find some rooting. All that water, we find some earth. Inhale, start to sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, maybe smile, swan dive, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, starting to fold. Plant the hand, step back into your downward facing dog. I'm going to give you the option, hold here in down dog, find child's pose, or if you want to flow through a chaturanga dandasana, if that's in your practice today, go for it. You'll notice I don't teach a whole lot of chaturangas because as a yoga therapist, I see the injuries. So really take care of your shoulders. There's nothing wrong with it, but be mindful, go slow. Okay, we're gonna start to slow this down. We've done a lot of work. Side bodies made contact with the earth, back body, our feet, our hands. I really wanna give us some prolonged time on the belly and with the chest, okay? So we're gonna lower all the way to the belly. I hope you can see this on the floor. If not, listen to my cues. All the way to the belly. And we're gonna open up the shoulders and the chest a lot, okay? So you're gonna take your right arm out to the side. Now the arm can be straight, the palm is gonna face down. If you know you have tight shoulders, please stay in this option. If you're like, yes, my shoulders are tight, my chest is tight. If maybe you wanna take it a little bit deeper, you're gonna goal post this arm, okay? So it's on a 90-degree angle, palm is facing down. Left hand underneath of the left shoulder. You'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna roll up and over onto the right side, all the way onto the right side. Maybe if you have a pillow nearby, you can bring it underneath of your head if you want as you're here. Maybe not. Hips are gonna stack. Your left foot can kickstand behind you if you have that availability, if you have that space. Maybe the left arm reaches up to the sky. And take about 4 breaths, really opening up the chest, the shoulder, pec minor. And then eventually coming all the way back onto the belly. Ooh. We're going to start to come onto the other side. So left arm again, straight out. I have a wall here, so I'm going to have to bend my arm. Straight out, palm face down, or 45 or 90-degree angle, rather. Palm faces down, right hand under the shoulder. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, roll up and over onto your left hip. And you can choose to stay right there if you want to kickstand that right leg, if that feels available to you. Breathe deep. 3 more breaths on this side. If you want to lift the arm up to the sky, you can also take that option. The right arm, not the left arm. All that rounding we do over our computers, we're just going to cultivate the opposite here. Slowly coming back into this prone position, hands underneath of the shoulders. As you're ready, inhale, press back into your child's pose. Take a breath or two, really feel the sensation of the shoulders of the chest. And on the inhale, starting to lift all the way up. We're going to take our time to come to a seated position just for a moment. I want you to find your props. I hope you feel that in the shoulders. I certainly do. I want you to find your props, find your blanket, find your bolster, because we're eventually going to come all the way down, and you might want these options for you. Okay? So soles of the feet will come down. Use the hands. If you really want to take it slow and round onto the back, go for it. If you're like, I've had enough, you can go ahead and lay all the way down. All the way down. We're going to find ourselves in Supta Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet are going to touch. Knees will be wide. You decide, do I want my hands on my hips, on my hip flexors? Or like my hands on the belly? Goalpost shape down by the sides. Again, pulling in some breaths in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale to sigh it out. And as you're here in a more, not a restorative, but a more restorative posture, I want you to notice if there's anywhere in your body where you're holding. If it's the jaw, if it's the eyelids, if it's the knees. And see if as you exhale, you can release these spaces and really allow the entire body to be supported by the earth. And maybe with the eyes closed, as you breathe in this shape, again, surrendering to earth, perhaps imagining maybe one of your most favorite places to be outside, to really be embedded in nature. I mentioned I live by the ocean, so for me it is certainly the beach. How appropriate. In Degi world, here we're at the beach. But maybe for you, it's, it could be your backyard. It could be a place that you camp, the mountains. I really want you to visualize this this feeling of being embedded in nature, surrounded by nature. Notice the sounds, the temperature, what you see. Maybe you notice the breath getting a little bit deeper, a little bit smoother. And perhaps you are so comfortable here. You might be like, I am not comfortable here, I'm ready to come out. But maybe you're comfortable here and you want to stay for Shavasana. Shavasana is our final relaxation or rest. Or perhaps you want to take that pillow or bolster. I like to bring mine under my knees, especially if you have low back issues. Or you can bring it behind the head. Just try not to let the chin crunch in. So the bolster can be under the knees. You can bring a blanket over your body. I like to bring mine. A lot of times I just cover my whole body, but oftentimes I'll cover my hips and my belly. And then begin to come onto the back. I really want you to find a beautiful place to rest. We'll be here for a few minutes and I will cue you out of it. So please stay. This is the most important part of our practice. And as you find this comfortable space, there is no rush. Take a full breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, empty. Empty out so that we can learn something new. Try it again. Inhale. And exhale. And then really allowing the body to completely relax. Allowing earth to rise up and catch you, support you, encourage you. And keeping the eyes closed, just begin to deepen your breath. And keeping the body as effortless and as still as possible. Maybe start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. You might start to gently rock the head from side to side. And then taking a full body stretch as is comfortable for you, reaching the legs out in front, reaching the arms up back behind you, inhaling. Exhaling to hug the knees towards the heart and go ahead and roll over onto the right side. Take your time. There is absolutely no rush. And as you're ready, press into the hands to come up into a comfortable seat. You might sit on your pillow, you might sit on a blanket. Closing the eyes as you get here, go ahead and rub the palms. And rub the palms together until you start to feel some heat. And then with the eyes closed, gently take the palms and just bring them over your eyes. This is a really beautiful way to soften the eyes, to allow them to close, to go inwards after all the attention we have to screens. And then gently releasing this again, bringing one hand to the heart, a hand to the belly. And noticing what is present for you right now. What do you notice about your energy? What do you notice about your emotional states, your feeling? And hopefully it is this place of equilibrium, of peace, of calm. And I invite you to take this into the rest of your weekend. On the next inhale, let's sweep the arms up to the sky and then draw the hands down towards the heart, bowing the chin. Thank you for sharing this experience with me. Namaste. Thank you so much. I know some of you out there know me personally. I would love to connect with you later to see how this experience was. I also made something for you. So if you're on social media, I made a quick guide. It's completely free. You can download it to prevent and reduce screen fatigue. That way your whole weekend, you're just feeling really refreshed. And enjoy Kappa Leadership Conference. I hope to see you tomorrow for our pranayama. We're going to be doing more breath work and some meditation. I think you'll really love it. So thank you so much, and enjoy.